Hi everyone, I'm Joy Nelson and welcome to my video for the Crafty Collaborations March 2023 video. This is for a monthly tutorial and I am doing a video to go along with my tutorial this month because I'm going to be making this adorable little treat box, and I just felt like it would just go better with a video. So you can get this video with a minimum order or ask me how to purchase this tutorial, which has many other projects included in it. I'm going to be using the Easter Bunny stamp set, and it is such an adorable and very cute little stamp set. It has all these little bunnies, and it has a coordinating bunny punch. I hope you can see that without too much shine. I can turn it over. See, it coordinates with this bunny here. But right now, this punch is out of stock, so I decided to use this stamp set without the coordinating punch to show you just how wonderful this stamp set is on its own. I'm also going to be using a cut and emboss embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder. It does the cane weave, and it is a very eye-catching pattern on this folder. Also, I will be using the double oval punch, and as you can see, it has the smaller solid edge oval and then the larger scalloped edge oval. So that is a really great punch that you need to have as a staple in your crafting area. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this cute little box opens. So it has a belly band for closure, and that's a little bit of glitter from our ribbon there. And then it opens up and you have these great little treats that you put inside. But look, there is an extra little bunny on the inside. So this little box has a cute little visual surprise on the inside, as well as the adorable stamping and belly band on the outside. Let's get started making this box. To start off with, I used a half of a sheet of an 8.5 by 11, but if you're in a different country, you can still start out with a half sheet. So I call this my half sheet little treat box. And so you have this half sheet, and then you cut it down to 5.5 by 7.5 inches, or 13.9 centimeters by 19 centimeters. So let's bring out our paper trimmer. I love the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. It has the measurements in imperial and metric on it. And I'm going to take my half sheet and cut it down from 8.5 inch length to 7.5 inch length. So you have this 1 inch piece that you can use for another project. And I also like to use the scoring blade on my paper trimmer. So I'm going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. And then after you've scored it at 1 inch on all 4 sides, then you want to come in and you want to do it at 3.25 inches, or let's see, That would be 8.2 centimeters. And that is on the longer side, and 4¼ inches, which is 10.8 centimeters. And the 1 inch on all 4 sides is 2½ centimeters. So now we've got our piece of cardstock, which this is the Coastal Cabana color. Now we need to find a pair of scissors. I like to use my Stampin' Up! Paper snips. They are great little scissors, and you're going to cut up to the fold line on all 4 corners. And also, you're going to cut one of at the 3¼ inch or 8.2 centimeter line here up to the fold line, and then you're going to cut on this fold line. So we're just creating these little flaps, and then you're going to mirror it. You're going to come down and you're going to mirror it. And you're going to cut up to this fold line. Now, to make it to where it goes a little better, folds up a little better, I am just trimming off the outside edge of all 4 corners, just at a slight angle. And they don't have to be perfect. So there we have all of those trimmed off. Now we can start folding. I'll bring in my bone folder to do a nice crisp fold. Turn it around. Now that we have all of our creases ready, we can start assembling our box. So I am going to just put a little of the liquid glue here, the multi-purpose liquid glue. And I probably didn't need that much, but just going to use that and hold that. Make it sure that it's meeting up, the corner is meeting up exactly. Yeah, I have a little too much glue there. Now I wonder why I have glue on my fingers all the time. And a little more glue here. Again, making sure that we have a nice, even, crisp corner there. And I am putting these flaps on the inside so that our box looks really nice. Now this little box, this flap will just go into the inside here, and then our box, there we have our lid attached to our bottom like this, and it just folds over the top like so. So now we have our cute little box, and we can start working on decorating. Before I get too far in, I'm going to tell you the pieces that I'm using. I have a 1 3/4 inch by 3 inch or 4.5 centimeter by 7.7 centimeter, and a 2 inch by 3 1/4 inch or 5 centimeter by 8.2 centimeter, both in the basic white. And then I have a piece of Granny Apple Green, 2 inches by 3 1/4 inches or 5 centimeters by 8.2 centimeters. And I also have a strip of the Coastal Cabana that is 1 1/4 inches by 8 1/4 inches or 3.2 centimeters by 21 centimeters. So that is going to be our belly band piece. I also need some scrap pieces just out of my stash. I need a basic white for our sentiment and our oval. I need another basic white just scrap piece, and a pool party scrap piece, and then another Granny Apple Green scrap piece. So those are the pieces that I will need to complete my box. First, I'm going to take this 1 3/4 inch by 3 inch piece, and I'm going to stamp the Easter eggs from this set with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to stamp it at the top and at the bottom of this piece because the belly band will be going in the middle. There we have those. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and I'm going to take the Whisper White piece for my sentiment, and I have the sentiment, which is an Easter treat for you. And I need, let's see, the little carrot. So we're just going to let the ink dry on some of these pieces while we're stamping. So the little carrot. And the grass. We need some grass. Just going to stamp this on the edge, kind of in the middle. And luckily there's plastic on this, so I can just wipe that right off. I also need my pool party scrap and the butterfly stamp in this set. There are so many fun stamps in this set. Now I've gone ahead and pre-stamped the bunny rabbit that I'm going to be using, so it is nice and dry. I think this is dry enough. I will go ahead and punch this out. So just put it through the back so you can see through the window. So that you don't have to watch me do too much coloring, I'm going to trade out some of these pieces. Set those aside for now. And go ahead and color with my blends markers. I'm not going to do really much shading at all on this project because the images are so small, they really don't need it. So I'm going to take a dark pool party. I love my Stampin' Blends because you don't get the marker lines with them. And they have the bullet tip, which I'm using right now, on one end, and a pointed brush tip on the other end. And oh dear, look what I did. So I am going to bring in the color lifter. I'm going to use that to just push that color away. So now you can't see that I made a mistake. And I think I'm going to switch to the Granny Apple Green. This is the light Granny Apple Green. And work on this for a minute. Now my checked pattern looks like it should. We'll set that aside for a minute. And then, of course, you know, like I said, there's a bullet tip and a brush tip. This is the dark pumpkin pie. So just doing the carrot here. And a little bit on the Pool Party with the dark Pool Party Stampin' Blends marker. Just do these little polka dots just a little darker so they stand out just a little better. And then our bunny, so we can take this away. And our bunny, I was going to show you something that I did. I was looking at his feet and I was thinking, okay, bunny feet are kind of pinkish on the bottom. So I thought I would color that. But against the gray granite, which is the dark and light gray granite, is what I use for this. This is the light. But against that gray granite, it just really stood out sharply. So I decided to go over with my light gray granite over this pink, which is the Flirty Flamingo light. So it didn't stand out quite so much. And then I have my dark gray granite that I used to do just some outlining. And then I took my my dark Flirty Flamingo, I should say. Just did these tiny little pads here. So again, I used light and dark Flirty Flamingo, light and dark gray granite, dark pumpkin pie, light Granny Apple Green, and dark Pool Party. So those are the colors that I used to color in. So via the magic of video, here is my bunny that is completely colored so that you don't have to watch this video of me coloring. I've also gone ahead with the paper snips and cut out the grass here. So we have that ready to go. I have fussy cut with my paper snips this butterfly, so that is ready to go. And the carrot, so that is ready to go as well. So now we have all our little pieces, and I need an oval one of the scalloped ovals from this. I need this out of this piece of Granny Apple Green. So now we have that. Oh, there's just this tiny little bit here that didn't want to come out of the punch properly. So just take my paper snips and just snip that off. Just like so. Paper snips are good for so many things. Now, the bunny, if you noticed, was holding the carrot. So I took one of the chipboard pieces out of one of my paper pumpkin kits and the bunny. And this is an old craft / X-Acto knife that we used to carry. We do not anymore, but you can get an X-Acto knife or a craft knife at a lot of different places. So you just need to take and go ahead and use this right above that line so that we can make a slot for our carrot. And then a little bit underneath here as well. So let's check to see if that went all the way through. And it looks like it did. So now we can take our little carrot and slip it in to look like he's holding it. Now, if you didn't want to go to that trouble, you could certainly just, attach the carrot on the outside. But I just like all those fussy little details. So this is going in and then through. So just wiggle that around until you get it the way you want it. So there we have our bunny holding our carrot. And now we need to attach the grass to this piece. Now I pre-cut and knew that it needed to be 2 inches long. So you could go ahead and just glue that on and then trim off any excess on your piece. So now we have the bunny is ready to go. And we have this ready for our top of our box, but we need the 2" by 3 1/4" Granny Apple Green piece. And I like the multi-purpose liquid glue. Yes, I messed up on that, but thank goodness paper has 2 sides because I was able to flip it over and use the other side. This just gets mounted on here with an even border all the way around. I like the liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room before it dries. So that is ready to go. This piece needs some dimensionals. So I'm just going to grab my mini dimensionals right here. And we need our little butterfly. Don't forget the butterfly. And we can go ahead and start attaching some of these pieces. This one on the outside of our box, leaving an even border around. And then this on the inside of our box. Again, leaving a fairly even border around. Now our bunny just looks too cute inside of there. And you saw that I filled this with Hershey Kisses on my original box that I made. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put inside this one yet. Now this strip of Coastal Cabana, which matches the Coastal Cabana of our box, the 1 1/4 inch by 8 1/4 inches, that I went ahead and put through our embossing folder. Now if you have a keen eye, you will notice that this embossing folder is not as long as this piece. So what I did was I lined it up on the embossing folder, kind of lining it up with one of these, vertical lines here, and I ran it through the machine, and then I flipped it around and did the other end. Now I actually did it this way. If you're looking really closely, did it this way, and then I flipped it around and put it in the same, matching the same vertical line, and then I ran the other part of it through. I did it like this, ran it through the machine, and that's how I got it to go all the way around. If you look really closely, which, it's really hard to see, you have to know it's there and really look closely, you can see the little seam. But once we get it wrapped around our box for our belly band, nobody is really going to see that. Now it's time to wrap it around. Yes, if I put that right on the edge there and go ahead and just wrap it around. Now, by running this through the embossing folder, I have made it where it's a little more pliable so that it will go around this box. Now we have that one, and then we have this one. And this is going to go around like so. So we have that around there and this around here. Kind of, you want to make it kind of snug, but you want to make sure that it will also slide. Oh, let's just get some of this on here. Again, I like the liquid glue because it's a little more giving, so you can have a little more wiggle room when you're positioning. So there we have that. And we can go ahead with our paper snips and trim this off. This is just a little bit too long. So we can just trim that off just like so. So now we have our belly band, and it does slide. So, oops, it's not staying together. I'm going to take it off like this. And then I think it's dry enough now. So we can go ahead and slip this over our box. It'll be a little bit tight the first few times, but that's okay. It still does slide. Now you want to make sure your eggs are right side up. And you want to go ahead and put some ribbon. So I'm using the glittered organdy ribbon, the white glittered organdy ribbon. It is so pretty. It has such pretty glittery shiny bits on it. And let's see, I need a glue dot. I'm going to take a glue dot here and put one on the end. So I want this seam to be covered by our embellishment here. This goes all the way around. And then you want a little bit of an overlap. And another glue dot on this end. Wrapping this around and overlapping. And that seam won't matter because this is going to be attached. Let's use some of our trusty multi-purpose liquid glue again. And I'm going to slide this off again. Just making sure this goes just off the edge just a little bit on the left side. I'm going to hold that down for a minute. Should be dry now. I'm going to slide this back over. And to save some time, I went ahead and tied a bow with the same white glitter organdy ribbon. And a glue dot. And this is just going to attach right here so that it looks as if it was, you know, tied around the box and then tied into a bow. But I found that going ahead and tying the bows separately like this, not only is it a little easier, but it gives you a nicer, prettier bow that way. So now we have our two boxes. And again, this one has our yummy treats inside. And our little bunny with our little Hershey Kisses. I don't know who would not want to get that. I don't care if you are young or old. I think anyone would enjoy getting this treat box. So again, this is part of a monthly tutorial bundle that has many, many other projects that you can receive with a minimum order, or you can also purchase this monthly tutorial bundle for March 2023. Just ask me how to get that, or ask one of the other demonstrators who are participating in this bundle. Your demonstrator, if she's participating, I'm sure she will tell you how to get that and order this Easter Bunny stamp set so that you can make lots of cute little treat boxes for all of your friends and loved ones this Easter. Until next time, bye.